Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leaders What podcast. Today, I have a very, very, very not only inspiring, but someone with truly goosebumps story. One of the most beautiful hearts I've got the pleasure and honor of connecting with over the past 3 years on my podcast and over 270 episodes. My new good friend Saitia from beautiful Hawaii, the doctor Aloha, the motivation speaker from Hawaii. We connected about 3 weeks, I believe, in a live video that was invited to do on my good friend from Toronto, Alex. He's a traveling in the Philippines. Very proud of him because he's been able to build a massive channel with only a cell phone. Only a
Yes.
cell phone. He does all the editing on the cell phone. He does with a computer. That's phenomenal. So anyways, we connected. I was interviewed to do a talk about, living in Asia, why I decided to relocate from Canada to Malaysia, and talking about lifestyle, living in Asia in general. And he was asking a lot of questions. He reached out to me, and long story short, we had a beautiful conversation, I think last week or the week before. And I said from the first moment, brother, say no more. I want you on my podcast. And even today, I mean, we talk. I love his energy, his passion, his drive, his fire in him. So as you will see, he's a wonderful man. Just a little bit about him. As I said, he's from Hawaii, and he's done amazing things. He's written 7 books, went on TV, did things with the mayor. He sold between 50 to 70,000 copies of his most famous book, which is 7 Letters to Live By. And he's got an extensive career in logistics. He worked for an operational manager for Amazon, building all their warehouses and offices around the U.S. Safety manager as well for major corporations and that. But that's one thing. But what we're going to be talking about is about his vision, his passion, his drive, because he's got a phenomenal story. And, he really speaks my language, because he says, when I ask him, what do you do? In one sentence, he said, it's one thing to talk about what you do as an occupation, but what I want to talk about what I am. So, brother, you're speaking my language, because what he does, he empowers people, making people feel and realize that they matter, that their voice matters, their story matters. And that's exactly what I've been doing on my podcast for the past 3 years almost, my book, everything I do. He speaks totally my language. So anyways, Saitia, brother,
Yes. Yes,
warmest welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Listen, I want to thank you, man. I know you have to get up a little earlier for this. You are an honorable man. I want to thank you for making time for me. And you give me goosebumps, man. When I talk to you, I feel like I'm looking in the mirror.
Thank you, brother. Hey, pleasure's all mine. I'm all up for doesn't matter what time I have to wake up. Well, within reason, not at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, but I love you, but not, I want my sleep. I need my sleep. No, but 7:30 is okay. It's a pleasure. But yeah, listen, first of all, tell us, how are you doing today?
Man, I am great and grateful, and so are you. It's a long day. Today is Friday here in California. I'm in the Bay, San Francisco area, Santa Clara. Long day. Went to the gym, did some errands. I told you my mom has dementia. I have a nurse here helping today. While I can do
that, yes.
Right, and so I had a good day. It's a long day, good day, but I'm happy to be here, sir.
Yes, indeed. And one thing that is really commendable about him is that he's a caretaker for his mother. And that's something beautiful, as I was telling earlier, because when we were kids, our parents took care of us, and the least we can do is take care of them when they need us. And this man, this angel is doing that. So for him, I don't have my hat with me, but chapeau. Hats off to you, brother. Seriously, you're doing God's work. You're doing phenomenal work. Keep shining your light, because that's what the world needs more,
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Our parents don't belong, as far as I'm concerned, maybe it's controversial, but our parents don't belong in nursing homes. They belong at home with us. They need love,
Right. People often tell me, man, Saitia, your mom's 85. Why do you watch her? Why don't you get take her to the home? And I said, listen, if I had terminal illness, my mother would take care of me in a heartbeat. Now that she has dementia, I'll take care of her in a heartbeat. So our love is strong, you know, our bond.
I would be offended if someone were to ask me that question. Why are you taking care of your mother? I mean, are you human? Do you have a heart? What kind of question is that?
Exactly.
The reason
Exactly.
you're here is because of your mother and your father. Without them, you would be a nobody. Come on,
That's right.
people.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. So I love her. I love her to death, and
Yes,
I will do anything to take care of my mom.
absolutely, absolutely. So the type of conversation I like to have on my podcast is sure we're going to talk about your professional life, your business, and your achievement. But what I want to talk about most foremost is to get to have a look under the hood, so to speak, to see what's in your heart, to have a heart-to-heart conversation. Hence the name
Mm-hmm.
Leaders from the Heart, because I said earlier, business is a relationship nurturing process. We do business
Mm-hmm.
with people we connect, relate, and trust at the heart level. So for that, tell us, for people who don't know you, over and beyond what I just said, which is basically scratching the surface of the surface, who's Saitia as a man, as a human being?
Great question. Thank you for asking me not what I do, but
Okay.
who am I?
Yeah,
I like to refer to the quote. Let's say it's better to be dead and not know life than to be alive and not know your purpose. So
absolutely.
yeah, I think so. Saitia, I'm a guy that was a dishwasher in 1983, making $3 an hour in Hawaii, coming from the poor side of the tracks. My mother was a janitor, my father a dishwasher. I've often said we didn't have a lot of money, but what we had, money couldn't buy. And so simple guy, grew up with humble beginnings in Hawaii, Honolulu, and then moved to the Bay Area in 1989, 1990. And from there, I just went on to different positions. But there was always something in my heart that told me, you know, one of my books, real quickly, is called Step Out of Your Head and Into Your Greatness, and then deliver your gifts to the world.
Wow.
So if you can, yeah, step out of your head into your greatness and deliver the same way you're delivering your gifts on podcasts. All of us need to deliver our gifts to the world in our own way.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We remind me when when I listen to you,
Yeah.
Les
Who's that?
Brown.
Come on, Les Brown. I got quotes with Les Brown. I
Seriously,
thank you,
think
sir.
like him. The intonations, everything is that sounds familiar. Have I met him anywhere? Oh, Les Brown, you know?
You know, it's funny because now I'm getting goosebumps. Well, in 1990, I was so when I came to California, I became a manager, Comcast Cable. I had 150 people working for me in San Francisco. I got promoted through the years. I didn't know much, and I was kind of nervous because I'm this island boy from Hawaii managing the Comcast with 8,000 employees in the Bay Area, biggest cable company in America. So I didn't know leadership that much. So in 1992, I'm trying to make sorry. I picked up a book by Les Brown, and it's called "The Courage to Live Your Dreams." And I was amazed by that book. I just read it from front to cover, and I seen him on public radio, TV, public national public television stations, and I was amazed by Les Brown to the point where I would say quotes by Les Brown over 150 words. And so it's funny you said that to me because wow, how life is. Um, I don't want to bore the audience by giving you some quotes, but Les Brown had a long quote about 150 words that when I started doing my speaking career some years ago, I would actually open with that 150 word quote. It's just very powerful. So thank you, Les Brown. It's been a big inspiration in my life, along with Miles Monroe, John C. Maxwell, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Mark Victor Hansen, all the people that I read through the years that really inspired me.
Those people are seriously, they're lights on our path, because when I was at my lowest part, I remember in 2019 in Hong Kong, going through very tough times. I used to go on long walks, loading my phone with, I would download all the long hour clip from Les Brown. And this is
Yeah,
what kept me going, yes, yes, yes.
I love Yes Brown. I mean, I'll tell you real quick. I memorized. He got a quote that says, "If you want something bad enough in life, you got to fight for it. You got to work day and night for it. You got to be willing to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. And if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and if life itself is useless and worthless without it." But if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all the terror of the opposition for it And if you go after this thing that you want with all your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity, and if neither cold, poverty, or famine, or gout, of sickness and pain, and body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you love the most. And if dogged and grim, you beseech and beset it with the help of mighty God, you'll get it. So, my God, I remember that quote since about 25 years now. Powerful.
Oh, absolutely. I love the way you said that quote. And you said, I swear to you, man, you say it exactly with the way he would say it. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but yeah, thank you. He inspired me. And another person I start real quickly, and I'll tell you a true story. And when I was about 9, I used to clean homes with my mother. I might have told you this a couple of weeks back, which kind of would pique my interest about being a leader in this road. My mother was a janitor. After work, after school, I would have to go home and help my mother clean hospitals and dentist offices because we're poor. And I remember we would clean this big, wealthy woman's house by the name of Mrs. Lee. And she was an older Asian woman in her 60s. I was 9. I was clean the kitchen. And that day I had the courage. I asked Mrs. Lee, I said, Mrs. Lee, I said, how'd you become so wealthy? And she was an Asian woman in her 60s, leaned down, looked me in the eye. And she said, young man, whatever you do in life, whether you're a garbage man, a doctor, or a lawyer, or a podcaster, you be the very best there is. And that reminded me of what Frank Sinatra said. He said, the best revenge in life is total and massive success.
Oh, absolutely.
So when people say you can't do it, brother, keep on doing it, man. Keep on doing it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Listen, I love the energy I'm getting from you, brother. Seriously, you're contagious.
Thank you.
You're boosting up. I swear to you, I was kind of worried that because I just woke up, I wouldn't have enough energy. So first thing I did, take a cold shower. But then more than a cold shower, what really woke me up is your energy. Seriously, man.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Amazing.
Like minds, man. You know, I always said everybody communicates. Great people like us connect.
Yes.
And that's and it's evident that we connect. And brother, you're my Canadian brother. Aloha, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. Same here, brother. Same here. Let's move forward. So to start with, to further get to know you as a person, human being, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions. Ready?
Sure. Yep.
All right. What makes you happy?
Oh Lord, what makes me happy? Planting flowers in other people's minds.
Wow. What makes you smile?
Man, smile. A good day workout at the gym.
Oh, beautiful. Now, let's take the happiness factor a couple of notches higher. What makes your heart sing? What sets your soul on fire?
Ooh, refusing to let other people's opinion be my reality. Just keep on going. Yeah.
Beautiful. On the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
When I turn on the TV and see all of the terrible mass shootings, man. Just our country, our culture, really been an erosion. And it really hurts me to see that because, you know, I wrote books on respect, and I know we get there. And I'm like, my God, if just everybody can, there's 100 different languages, 100 different religions. I get that. There's Muslim and Christian and Catholic and Hindu, but respect, my brother, speaks every language. And I think that's where our society has gone wrong. I mean, among other things. So it doesn't matter if you're black or white or Canadian, American or Filipino or Malaysia. Respect speaks every language, you know, and that's my purpose of my books, is to spread that love.
Absolutely. I love what you said. What language is it that you speak again?
Respect, brother. RESPECT.
He speaks respect. You know, that's the most beautiful thing I heard. That would not be. That is a t-shirt worthy. Seriously. Get it on a t-shirt and a mug and whatever.
Yeah. I do.
You'll make quite a lot of money with it. Seriously.
Yeah. But you know, I'll give you a real quick story about the t-shirt thing.
Yes.
I used to travel with Amazon, and I think I was in New Jersey, New York, building a big Amazon. They send you there for a year. I'm the safety guy. And I remember I was selling respect t-shirts there. You know, they knew the Hawaiian guy is a respect guy. So I made t-shirts because in construction, you got to wear safety green or safety orange uniforms.
Yeah.
So I would have a safety green shirt and put respect lives here. Respect lives here.
I love that.
And I never forgot. I'm trying to make a point with my message here. When I was selling my shirts, and there was a big black guy in New York, New Jersey area. He came to my booth at work, and he go, "Hey, I want to get 2 shirts. I heard you the guy sell shirts." It was Christmas time, and I grabbed 2 shirts. I said, "What size you need?" He said, "Well, one for me, one for my wife. Give me 2 large." And I go, "Wow, is this for Christmas?" And he looked at me straight, and he go, "No, man, my religion don't believe in Christmas." I
Mm,
said, "Oh, okay." And I, politely give him the shirt and all that. And then as he walked off, I said, "Wow, his religion don't believe in Christmas, but he believes in respect." And
mm,
I thought, see, and I said, "Whoa, now respect can cross religious boundaries." Yeah.
absolutely. You know, respect, love, there's certain values that are universal. Doesn't matter who we are, even, I mean,
Mhm.
not just even, that applies even to our brothers and sisters from other galaxies, because we do have
Yes.
those, seriously, and they're watching over us like
Yes.
younger brothers and sisters, caring for us, sending us love, and sending us guidance. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was, yeah, I never forgot that story, but
Yeah.
and again, yeah. So thank you.
Beautiful. Now, what scares you?
Whew. Not having one more day
Oh, yeah.
to make a positive impact for somebody on the planet.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What would you say is your number one personal superpower?
Um, well, what to say? It's not your aptitude. It's your attitude determines your latitude.
Mm,
So my attitude.
beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. You love traveling, right?
Yeah.
All right. We can do an entire show on travel. We may do that in the future, but right now I want to take you on a different type of travel down memory line. Go back to when you
Okay.
were growing up. You know, when we were kids, people around us, parents, family, relatives, teachers, always ask us,
Yeah.
"Hey, Saitia, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What does your answer as a young boy to that question?
Oh my God. The truth is lawyer. I remember I wanted to be a lawyer when I was like 15 years old,
Mm,
a younger kid. But unfortunately, I fell into the trap. I asked my counselor in Hawaii, "Hey, I want to be a lawyer." My counselor, unfortunately, looked at me and he said, "Young man, we got enough lawyers in the world." So
we have
I
enough
was given,
liars.
yeah, the wrong, like, and I was 15 and 14. I just looked up at him, said, "Oh my God, I guess I'm not going to be a lawyer." Unfortunately, I let other people's opinion be my reality back then.
Mm,
Never do it again.
yeah. So growing up, what was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
Yeah, I mean, school was fun. Yeah, I've always was. I grew up in Hawaii, so Hawaii is more of a aloha culture. 80 degrees, blue seas every day. School was fun. Fun. I think back in the 80s, I'm in my 50s now. School lunch was 25 cents, I think, for lunch, and they
Wow.
give you yeah. So now it's $5. So school was fun.
So for people who have not grown up in Hawaii, I've never been to Hawaii, but I would love to. What is
Mhm.
Aloha culture?
Oh God, aloha means hello and goodbye. First of all,
Yes, yes.
Hawaiian culture is such a beautiful culture. You go there, you instantly your uncle. So when you go there, you're my uncle.
Uncle,
You're my brother.
auntie, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uncle, kind of like Philippine culture.
yeah.
And we don't lock our doors in Hawaii. When I grew up, everybody's friendly. It's a fun.
Leave your bike outside. Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I remember when I moved to California. I was conditioned to just work, work, work because it's a conditioned, successful culture of the Silicon Valley out here. But I would go back Hawaii, and I would remember driving down on a Monday afternoon down my neighborhood, and I see barbecues here at barbecue and people drinking beer and honey and having a, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's only Monday, it's only Tuesday, wait, it's only Wednesday. Don't they know they got to go to work? Don't they know we don't do that in California till Friday? And so Hawaii is just a fun culture with a lot of love, brother, a lot of respect, a lot of love. I miss that culture. Everybody's welcome in that culture.
Absolutely. Wow. Beautiful. So going back to when you were going to school as a kid, what was your favorite subject?
Psychology, it's
Really?
interesting. Yeah, the
Wow.
study of the human mind and how it works and how it thinks, like how you say. We were talking earlier, and I want to, I want to thank you, man. Because as we did our preparation for this talk here, I told you I watched my mother, and you said, "Saitia, God, what are you learning from? There's a message in watching your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And and at that moment, brother, I reflected and I said, my God, thank you, man. Thank you. Because I think taking a time out in my 50s to watch my mother full time, who has dementia, as I told you, it has carved myself into trying to be a more humble man.
Mm-hmm.
Just understand that life's short, man. And
Yeah.
every second, every breath matters.
And
So
what truly matters is not the materials, but the people, the relationships.
yes, exactly. And yeah, I reflect on that and I think about her often. Like I said, I might be traveling here soon, and I'm terrified at 2 a.m. waking up and thinking, who's watching my mother? That's how I feel. I really care about her.
Yes, I've been there. I totally feel you. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. God bless you for that. You're doing God's world work,
Thank you.
and you're gonna, whatever you put out there, you're gonna get in 10x that back. Karma works both way, positively and negatively. So you're doing positive karma, you're gonna get 10x that. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep blessing the world keep shining your light, brother, because you're a
Thank
beautiful
you.
light out there. Seriously.
Thank you,
Right.
sir. Thank you. Thank
Man,
you.
welcome. So back to school. What was your least favorite subject in school?
Well, I mean, I don't know what my least. I mean, least probably. I don't know how to explain that because I instantly when you said that I instantly thought about my best subject, which
Mm.
was PE.
Oh, yes.
PE. Yeah, because I remember my senior year in high school. I think I went to the PE class for six. First schedule the whole day. I was in PE playing basketball instead of studying. So probably anything to do with study back then when I was a teen.
Yeah.
But my favorite class, if you ask, was physical education, where they let you play in the basketball out of a gymnasium all day long.
And was there any
Unfortunately,
subject you didn't like at all?
uh, back then, I don't know. I cannot get anything or wrap my head around anything that I
Okay.
didn't like. I loved being around people. I loved everything, so to speak. Yeah.
Awesome. So imagine we were in the same class in grade 10, 11. What kind of kid were you back then? Were you the shy guy? Were you the nerd guy? Were you the child?
No.
Were you the life of the class?
Yeah, I was more of so I was basketball player, football player.
Oh, wow.
I was the prince of the May Day festival. We had the Hawaiian
Wow.
festival. I was somewhat popular. I was very athletic, so um, I was
Superstar.
more of the guy that just had a lot of friends, black, white, doesn't matter. I made Filipino. I made friends with everybody.
And were you popular with the ladies?
Oh my God, I was young then. We were, you 17
Yeah.
and yeah. I don't know about
I can
popular,
see
but
that. I can see that with your
yeah,
personality. Yes, yes.
yeah,
The laughter,
yeah.
the charisma. Absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you. Yeah,
I
thank
can
you,
see
sir.
that.
Yeah,
I can see that you're a slayer. That's good, brother. That's good. Okay. You still are. You still are, Awesome. Let's move forward. Let's talk about your path from the moment you left school to now. How would you describe it? Would you say once you get into one lane, you were pretty much set for life, straightforward, smooth, or was it more like a turns and twists, like a roller coaster?
it was rough. I mean, I think everybody has a story, so to speak.
Mm,
What's the trouble? Was turbulent. I moved here from Hawaii. When I graduated high school, I went to Bay Area here in California, in the
mm,
Fremont East Bay area. Fremont, Union City, Castro Valley. Um, Very interesting. Back in the 80s and 90s, there wasn't very little Polynesians here in California. Now there's everywhere. There's Hawaiian restaurants everywhere now. So it was a struggle. Trying to get a job, trying to adapt to the different culture. There's very little. I mean, California. I love you guys. I know they're watching. I think California's not Hawaii. Hawaii is
mm,
different. It's a different breed. It's from what I hear, the Philippines, and I'm going to go there soon. From what I hear, it's a lovely, happy people, always laughing. Hawaii is similar. It's an island culture in the ocean. So you get that Hawaiian, fantastic breeze, fun attitude. Here it was hard, different, not too much Hawaiians were here, Polynesians. I had to find my way through work, relationships. It was rough. It was rough. It was up and down. And I just stick to what my father taught me, just what was sweat equity. My father always would tell me, son, a moss that always travels in the river never grows a pebble. I'm sorry, a pebble that travels never grows moss. So I guess in his own way of saying, have some foundation. Don't have a scatterbrain and jump around the place in California. So it was rough. It was rough. I had to find my feet, find my way. And once I got into management, I started focusing on respect. That's how I started, right? Respect. Because when I got into management here in San Francisco, real quickly, in Comcast Cable, I worked for a big cable company here. And I was in charge of a lot of people. And they asked me to go to the corporate office for a meeting. So I went, and about 10 people in charge of all the managers went there. I represented San Francisco. And I remember when I went there, the table of top managers there was mostly white. There was a couple of black people. There was a few Mexicans. And then I was the only island boy in that corporate boardroom. And that's how I said, you know what? We need more representation. I'm going to write books on respect. And my goal is to inspire some young guy out there and say, hey, if I can do it making $3 an hour in 1980 to a big salary now, I don't have the complexion for the connection, as they say. If I can do it, then you can do it. You can do it. And that's why I say, that what you do for yourself in life, you take to your grave. What you do for other people, brother, you leave it with them, man.
Yeah, that's
you
your legacy. With them. The memory.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, you're a good man. If something happened to you, trust me, I'll be watching your podcast because your life lives on. It lives on, brother.
Thank you. You said something about your complexion is not what? What was that again?
I said I don't have the complexion for the connection.
Let me write this
when
down.
I don't. Yeah, when you follow, life. We live in a world where, like you said, maybe I got a great personality that helps. I'm from a tropical culture that helps. But at the end of the day, when it comes to corporate ladder and all that, sometimes you don't have the complexion for the connection. And if you don't got, I don't want to get to stereotypes because I see a lot of people nowadays make it in life, whether a minority.
Yeah.
But in the, back 80s and 90s, it's just, hard road. You're an island boy in California trying to find your way, making it to the top. It's a difficult process,
Sure. That's a perfect segue because you mentioned about going through those struggles. So, there's a saying that says, change your story, change your life. And by story, I mean what we tell ourselves inside our head all day long. So when you, Saitia, you were at some of your lowest, darkest time in your life, how did you change your story internally to change your reality externally?
I love that question. There's a saying, and I hate to go with quotes, because I used to live in the library. I used to read a lot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I love the saying. I believe it's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, then the enemy outside can do you no harm.
Absolutely.
And luckily I certified and bottom-fied and qualified my thought process, my inner IQ thing, where I would read the John C. Maxwell's, I would read all the great books. And because I know life will knock you. Well, Les Brown. What would he say? When life.
I was about to say that. You sound exactly like him. I didn't want to interrupt you. Bonafide. What I say?
So Les Brown said certified, bonafide, indelibly qualified to give you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look, I'm your love man. But he also says that when life knocks you down, brother, land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Love that. Love that.
And I think to the people that watching or listening. One of the things I can say, man, is Les Brown say OQP, only quality people, but also read some certified books where it'll just plant, because if you don't plant flowers in your mind, weeds grow by default. So try to plant those flowers where it can guard you when Murphy come, right? People can come and say, who do you think you are? You're a manager? Who do you think you are? You write a book, you didn't know how to read in high school, and you think you're an author today? People will come at you. And I think if you guard your thought process and your inner fortitude with all the positively books that you can, it'll help you. It's not going to cure you, but it's going to help you to get over those tough times, because people will come and tell you that you're not good enough.
Oh, absolutely. It's a matter of just, not paying attention to those people.
But Willie Jolly said, make every setback a setup for a comeback.
Oh, absolutely indeed. Amen. Amen. Beautiful. Now, let's move forward. This is beautiful. Tell us, there's so many questions I want to ask you, but wow, we could talk for hours and hours. But let's move forward. Let's move.
Yes,
Me and you,
sir.
we need to do a few podcast episodes. We will do a few podcast episodes because there's
Yes.
so much,
Yes.
so much that we can. But anyways, now tell us about your work, your impact. How are you changing lives, and tell us about all the beautiful things you're doing around you.
Thank you. Well, like I said, I started writing. Let me tell you the essence of my story. The essence of one of my books, really.
Please.
One story. Yeah, I was in Hayward, California in the 1990s, and I was a manager. 50 employees, distribution building. They had a day shift, night shift. I was a night shift manager, and we got a lot of Mexicans and Filipinos in California back in the 90s too. And we were having communication problems, and real bad. Like, the managers couldn't understand the workers, and they were just being the manager being negative to the workers, and I was trying to just be respectful. And it was to the point where the president flew down from Europe, and it was a big company. And the president wanted to know, why are we having communication problems in our company? And the president called all the managers in the office. We all were nervous. It was a big boss from Switzerland that came down. And he went around the table and he asked all the managers this. This is before I wrote any books. He told the managers this. He one at a time, he go, why are we having problems here? To the first manager. The first manager stood up and said, well, Mr. President, they're speaking Mexican or Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish, and this is America. So that's our problem. He said that. The second manager stood up and said, well, Mr. President, they're speaking Tagalog, Ilocano, or Filipino, and this is America, and I can't understand them, Mr. President. And he sat down. So the president looked at me and said, Saitia, what do you think? I remember I actually looked up at him. He was sitting straight ahead on the other side of the conference room. And I said, well, Mr. President, I don't speak Spanish and I don't speak Filipino. I said, but I tell you what I speak, Mr. President. I said, I speak respect. And I said, when you respect your employees, they will detect that from you if you're authentic, and they will help you move your businesses forward. And he looked at me. I was 29. I was a younger guy, 28. And he looked at me and he said, Saitia's got it. Saitia's got it. And ever since that day, I realized that there's 100 different languages. I think there's 3,000 different languages in the world. Oh, yeah. But I guarantee you, if I went to Russia, they'll fall in love with me because I respect them. If I went to Japan, if I went to Philippines, or went to Canada, it doesn't matter. If I went to Middle East,
the moon, Mars, Venus, anywhere.
Venus, yeah, I can go, yeah, exact Pluto, because they would detect that this young man is raging peace, not war with us. And that's all people want, man. That's all people want, from the janitor of the company to the president. They just want respect.
I've noticed the same thing. I've been traveling, living around the world. I noticed the same thing. Doesn't matter what you are, white, blue, green, purple, whatever. We're all human beings. We all have the same red blood. We all want the same thing: respect, love, opportunities, and to provide and care for our loved ones. That's what we all want. They want respect. They want to be valued. And this is it. You give that to, and you don't need any language. Just like you said, I speak respect. Seriously, I'm going to make a t-shirt out of it.
Thank you.
I will put it, quote, your name, and seriously, and I will, once you get here, I will give you I will give you one as well. So, because this is this is beautiful. Seriously.
No, and that's funny. So, just one real quick story, because I know might do part 2 here. I got the nurse there, but when I speak to people, and occasionally, I think I talked to you weeks ago. I've always told them that the wealthiest part on the planet, right? We went through this. The wealthiest part on the planet, and this is the essence of what I try to tell people. I wrote 7 books. I'm not brilliant. I am not. brilliant. I just decided to get a 10 cents pencil and a piece of paper and write $1 million dreams. Anybody can do that. But I tell people often that the wealthiest part on the planet is it's not the gold mines of South Africa or the oil mines of Kuwait or the wealthiest part on the planet is not far from their house. It's at the graveyard. I often tell
Oh,
people at the graveyard, people has died with the
oh,
songs they never
wow.
sang, the books they never opened, the podcast they never started. People die with the dreams they never accomplished. People die with the things in them. And I often tell
Oh,
people,
wow.
before you check out of this thing called life, brother, sing your song, open up your store, write your book, do your podcast, do something, open up that YouTube channel, do whatever it takes, because before you die empty of all the gifts that God put in your heart.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Live full, die empty. And that's easier said than done. You have to do it. And like I said, don't let nobody tell you can't do it.
I
Just
absolutely
do
love that. Live full, die empty. Wow.
it. Mm.
Seriously, man. This was that what you just said about the cemetery being the richest place in the world. Wow, this is so powerful.
Mm.
Man, this is one of the
It's
best
true.
conversations I've had, man. Seriously, this is powerful.
It's true, brother. It's true. And that's why when we talked off the interview,
Yeah,
I connected with you because you told me a story about your father. You told me a story about your temper. You told me stories that you shared with me. And then you told me, Saitia, I started this podcast and now it has grown. That
yeah.
has grown because God has given you a gift, bro. He's given you a gift, and now through this camera, you're delivering your gift to the world, brother. And we're all
Thank you.
participating in it. Good job, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously, this is beyond beautiful. Wow, I will have to rewatch this, and I'm speechless. Listen, I know you have to go back to help your mother, so we're gonna
Yes.
stop part one here, but we'll definitely do part two anytime next week. Just
Sure.
you have my Calendly, book a time, and I'm super looking forward to that. Listen, Saitia, I'm absolutely honored, blessed, grateful for the universe to connect us to Alex. And
Yeah.
listen, I know that me and you're not gonna be just a guest on my podcast or a potential client. Me and you, we're gonna be brothers. We are brothers, and I can't wait to
You are
meet you in
brother.
person. Absolutely,
You're,
absolutely,
you're my
brother.
brother, and I love you, bro.
Same thing, brother. So keep shining your light, keep blessing the world with everything you do. And again, I am taking my hats off to you for all the wonderful things you're doing, and I'm sending you all the strength and your mother all the healing vibes of the world so that you guys can laugh together and be together forever and for as long as
Thank,
possible.
thank you, brother. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Sure.
much. You're a good man.
Thank you. As we say in Canada, have a fantabulous evening and weekend. We'll talk soon. Take care, brother. Cheers.
Brother, thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Pleasure's all
Thank
mine.
you.